Daniel Jones is not budging. His new agent is not budging on $45 million a year. I don't know what Joe Schoen is going to do. It makes a lot of sense that he signs Saquon and Dexter Lawrence to a long-term deal. It doesn't make any sense to give Daniel Jones on his 5th year an extension until he does it back-to-back years. He had a great season last year. I think Daniel Jones proved to everybody he could be a franchise quarterback. There's only 3 quarterbacks that threw over 3,000 yards and ran over 600 yards. And 2 of them are superstar quarterbacks, Allen and Hurts. Now, I've preached for Daniel Jones since the day the Giants drafted him. Everybody wanted to throw Gettleman to the sharks, to the crocodiles, to the alligators. I told everybody he got it right. I believe Daniel Jones will be the best quarterback in that class. And slowly but surely, he's starting to prove that he is. Maybe Dable helped him move forward. The quarterback whisperer, he did it for Josh Allen. Why couldn't he do it for Daniel Jones? Daniel Jones needs to do it for back-to-back years. If he does it back-to-back years, he is going to make more than $45 million. He's going to make $50 to $55 million with the new Amazon deal that the NFL is going to put towards the cap in 2024, which is going to put the money up $8 or $9 million. The quarterbacks are going to win. Dexter Lawrence, to me, is the most important piece to sign. He's your best defensive player. He's your leader. He's everything. He's the Michael Strahan, the Justin Tuck of that defensive line. Saquon's a great player, and it's very hard to fill in how great of a season he had last year. But you can find a running back in any round. You can find a free agent running back like a Kareem Hunt that will be cheaper. Kareem Hunt will probably ask for between $9 and $10 million. Saquon wants $13 to $14 million. But again, Saquon Barkley is a giant. And the organization, the Maras, the Tishes, they love him. So if that's the case, you give Saquon a 3-year extension. You pay him $13 to $14 million a year. You give him that opportunity to have a 4th-year option. You give Dexter Lawrence that long-term extension because he's going to want between $80 and $90 million. And then you decide on how you want to work this as far as franchising him. There's 2 ways they can franchise him. One of the ways, they can put him up where teams can discuss on a contract with him. The Giants could match it, and if they don't match it, they get 2 first-round draft picks for him. I don't think anybody's going to give the Giants 2 first-round draft picks for Daniel Jones right now. No. But if he has a good year this year, there's a possibility they will. But right now, Daniel Jones did it 1 year. He needs to do it back-to-back years. I think Daniel Jones obviously believes in his talent because he got a new agent, and an agent is preaching that he should be making top dollar. Go out there and prove yourself. Lamar Jackson did it this year before he got hurt and never came back. If anybody deserves the money, it's Lamar Jackson. He's done it year in and year out. He's won an MVP. Daniel Jones never did. Lamar Jackson deserves it. Daniel Jones, I think that his ability and his speed is a lot more defined. If you see him try to race somebody, he looks slow. But when he plays on the field, he can't be tackled.
Unless you're the Philadelphia Turf.
Knocking himself down or running into his own players.
Lamar Jackson won an MVP and did it at a peak value without great wide receivers like the Giants have right now. Rashad Bateman was talking about earlier in the week, taking shots at the GM and how they didn't develop wide receivers. And Lamar Jackson still played great. MVP, Pro Bowl caliber every year when he's been healthy amidst all that. Daniel Jones, this is the first year he's really done that. And now he wants $45 million. Lamar Jackson deserves $45 million. Daniel Jones, no.
Not yet.
$38 million, I would pay Daniel Jones.
I would sit and franchise him and then wait until next year. If he has another good year like that, I pay him $50.
Which might be the approach of what this new agent is taking if the Giants are not going to want to give Daniel Jones $45 million. And Joe Schoen, I would not advocate for you to give Daniel Jones that contract, especially if it's going to be a 4-year deal. Yeah, he has to do it another year to get in that range. If the Giants do get a receiver either in the draft or in a free agency, that's going to have even higher expectations for you to want to get $45 million because you're going to have to prove a lot more. You're not going to be able to get away with just throwing 15 passing touchdowns and still low 3,000 passing yards, which is a great year considering the lack of receiving talent. But if you have a receiver, that changes a lot. And Joe Schoen has to realize that. As far as the other 2 guys, Dexter Lawrence, I would advocate to pay before the Jets pay Quinnen Williams because that could also set the market again for defensive tackles, especially young defensive tackles. Saquon, I feel like they're going to let go from everything I've read about with this front office.
Dexter's not going to make as much as Quinnen Williams.
I don't think so, but if Quinnen Williams gets paid a lot more than expected, it still could be a leverage point for Dexter Lawrence, who is young too and not far behind.
I could see Quinnen Williams take less to help the Jets out.
Which would actually help the market for Dexter Lawrence, in a sense, but I'm hoping Joe Schoen does it first and not having to take that kind of chance.
Williams will probably take between 20 and 22. For a tackle as good as him, that's cheap. You've seen what Aaron Donald has made and what Quinnen Williams is. He's 25 years old. He's still not even in the prime of his career yet.